Black Box Productions.
I think all that is going to end up being eradicated as far as the beef in LA. Like, we are having to look in the mirror in front of the world, because everybody watching. There is no secret room where all the Crips is meeting up. There's no group text for me to send these messages through. So I'm gonna have to send them right here, and to he who has an ear, let him hear. If you realize it, you know, as gangbangers, okay, you want to talk about engaging in war, past wars, which is certainly taking place. But we have not brought a new definition of war. How would you be ignorant enough to be the only ones begging for war? Like, look at the nations, the pattern of war that we have adapted. What we see is not something we created. War is something that was going on before gangbangers. And, you know, groups, sections, nations, countries, kingdoms go to war at different times, and they go because there is an issue at hand. And prior to going to war, they attempt to seek and exhaust all other possible ways to remedy the issue before they go to war. And I don't care how bloodthirsty you are, how much of a warrior or a conqueror you are, how engaged in the war you are. Everybody, the winners and the losers involved in the war, when it's over, celebrate the ending of the war. So when you find yourself anti-peace, you got to mentally really look and see what part of your humanity causes you to be anti-peace, because it is not natural to want to be at a state of war. War is the absence of peace. Peace is what we are seeking as human beings. Even the Bible, with all the different hoopla that's stated about religion and doctrine and all that, if anybody who is familiar with that book, regardless of what somebody wants to tell you, the most valuable thing other than everlasting life that book declares to provide is the peace that passeth all understanding. And these are the valuable things that, you know, every human being is seeking peace. So I don't care how much you wasn't scared of the war or how much you was involved, especially a war that you did not declare initially. As a soldier, a warrior, or whatever, when the war is over, we salute that. We celebrate that. You see people of descent, especially in America. We have a good example. No matter what country we've been through war with, and throughout the years, we have people, members of that nationality, dwelling right amongst us on a constant basis, and it doesn't turn personal. I don't know why people tend to internalize and take it so personal, but yes, I do believe that it will all be eradicated eventually in the future, in a nearer future than we probably realized. I believe, like, let's say the totality of the experience from the time it began to the time it's going to end, which is obviously in the future. I would just say that if it started back here and the ending just per se is here, I think we're closer to here than we are to here. So I don't think gangbanging will be alive in the future for as many years we've experienced it in the past. And I mean out here in LA, with at least gentrification, there's a lot of things that are adding to that in Los Angeles. Like, so even though the activity might spread out, and I would imagine it would continue to dense and thin out, I don't know how hard. It got to be quite hard to fall in love with death and destruction. You know, we've accomplished it pretty well, but as you see, there's a cleansing. I think it's time we wiggled out they maze. We say third generation gangbangers that live long enough to see it changing. I think it's time we make arrangements. Find me out, wiggle out they mazes. Find me out in different places. It's the spook by the door. Here's the infiltration. Double back, dressed in blue laces. Yeah, the marathon continues. It ain't gonna stop. So what I think about the subject is quite obvious.
Neighborhood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
It's the homie cook-up boss, goddammit, Cub Low. And y'all tuning in to the Wake and Bake Show with goddamn it, the homeboy Spider Loc.
Here with SPI, the realest nigga in LA.
Spider this bitch!
My nigga Spider Loc.
Spider Loc, nigga.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc, that's my nigga.
Spider Loc.
Spider Loc. Shout out to SPI, that motherfucking nigga.
You are now in the black box with the homie Spider Loc, the most eastiest. Facts over feelings, keeping it a Google Plex. Feel my campaign.
Spider Loc, Wake and Bake. Better keep it Google, nigga.
Loc is in LA somewhere doing what he's doing.